Brett from Dirty Bikes here. This is just a tutorial on fitting the carrier on the lightbee. This is the rear carrier. The one I'm using here is the farm tray, but they all bolt up the same basically. These are the two frames, go up either side. These are the spacers, bars that go between the two. This is the hanger that goes under the seat. This is the hardware that holds the tray onto the frame, and that's the foot for the stand. And we also add a mud flap that goes up the back for the farm bikes as well. Okay, quick run through of the tools you're going to need. There's a torque wrench. We've got the power bar there. 6.543mm Allen key, 8mm spanner, 10mm spanner, 13mm spanner, a clip removing tool, and some Loctite. First step in fitting this carrier is remove these two bolts to remove this rear mud flap. So one's got an 8mm head on it and the other one's got the 3mm Allen head. Hang on to the nuts and washers because you're going to need them. The next thing we need to do is we need to remove the two rear splay clips. Just the two rear ones, that's all we need to remove. This is the splay clip, so once you get the centre pin pulled out, the clip will slide out of that cover. This little clip removal tool here that we made works a treat, just a screwdriver flattened out, and we hit it with a grinder just to give it a bit of shape, and just works perfectly for getting these shitty little clips out. When you remove the left hand side one on that mud guard, just remove that plastic clip. You won't need that anymore. So we've removed the rear lower mud guard, and we have removed the two rear hole clips on either side of this seat base. Now you can get in there with a spanner and you've got access to the two 10mm nuts which hold the seat down. So get them undone. Okay, once you've removed those two nuts off the seat base there, I only do the rear ones. The rear mudguard, knock forward, it'll fall out basically. Remove the rear mudguard, it's no longer required. Grab this hanger and chuck that up under the, goes on top of the frame, and then the seat bolts come through it. So there it is, that hanger just slips in there, seat bolts come through it, go through the subframe, and yeah, chuck those nuts back on. I don't bother putting the washers back on, just gives us a bit more thread. So that's all tightened down now, just till the thread basically pokes out of those nylock nuts. I haven't put a torque wrench on it, but they tighten up pretty good, you'll know where you're at. So now you've got the two hangers hanging from under the seat. Put the front two splay clips back in. The rear ones, this hanger's actually in the way, so it won't go all the way, but you'll see at the end the tray will hold the rear part of that up anyway. So we put those two splay clips back in the front ones. Tray's pretty solid. Next, okay, so it's time now to put the sidebars on. So you've got your top and bottom bolts on your seat frame, left and right. Just loosen them all off. Don't take any out yet, just loosen all four off. Just be warned, these round off pretty easily. I get the heat gun and just get them hot in the back. I think there is some sort of Loctite on those bolts. If you're not using a decent Allen key, go and get yourself a decent Allen key, because a worn Allen key will strip the bolt as well. So I use a power bar with a hex socket on it. It works for me. Okay, so I've got all four of those seat frame bolts loose. Got the frame sitting just here. I've got the two bolts that go into the frame. That is the spacer that goes on the inside of the frame. It's got no thread in it. And it acts as a spacer between the seat frame and the rack. So I remove the bottom bolt first, get that one in. Spacers in there. Keeps it well away from the bike, so saves you scratching anything. there's the spacer set in where it needs to be for the next one. So now I'll just straighten this rack up and put that other bolt in. So now that rack arm is completely on, and that just lines up in the hole there. Just leave it all loose until we get sort of the spacers and everything in it. So now I'll just do the left hand side and get that bracket on. Okay, got the bottom bolt out on the left hand side. Got the spacer on the inside of the rack. So again, do the bottom one first, it just saves you scratching paint and shit. And, right, we'll get this one on. So we've got both brackets on there, and they're up tight, 25 Newton meters with the torque wrench on those. Okay, so with those two short bolts and the washers, they go through there and hold that to the hanger. So we'll do those up now. So we've now got the frame bolted to the hangers, just leave those loose. Now we'll put the spacers in the rear part here. So this is the spacer. It goes between, bolt goes through, washer on either end. So I'll just do this one now. So we've got all the spacers in, the frame's all bolted up nicely. Spacers go on the inside like that. Yeah, so that's solid. I still leave these two here loose, there and there, just till we get the frame and everything on. Next step now is just to attach the mud flap, like so. I just find it's easier to put it on the tray to fit it than trying to fit that upside down, so yeah. Okay, so I've screwed the tray on. Now it's just a matter of feeding that through and sitting that on. So we've got the tray sitting on the frame, we've got the mud flap hanging down. Now it's just a matter of bolting the 4 bolts on and doing the 2 down the bottom. Okay, so the tray's all tightened up. All those bolts are tightened up. The ones I do, those ones on the side last. Now it's just a matter of bolting this flap back up. I do the left side first just because the other side's got that stud poking out, and then while you've still got a wee bit of thread poking out in there, just push that brake line under that cover and that'll retain it there. So the brake line just pokes in there nice and tidy, and now it's just a matter of putting that other one on the stud, putting the nut on it, tighten that down, then tighten this one down. Just be careful when you tighten this one down, it's actually a Allen bolt that comes right through the swing arm, and it holds the chain buffer. So yeah, just make sure you don't, you'll notice it if you loosen it. Those all nice and tight. That's basically the carrier done. Everything's tight. Now, the only other thing we've got to do is we've got to put the foot on the stand. Okay, so now it's time to drill the foot stand. Yeah, so you'll need 3 drills. Start with a 2.5, we go up to 6.5, which is the size of the, which is big enough to get that bolt through. And then we've got 11 there just to countersink the top of it, just to make it a bit tidier, so the head of the bolt sits in. I sit my bikes up on this bit of steel here, and then work the stand under it, and yeah, I'll show you. So that's the foot just sitting under, it fits quite snugly in there, and then just want to put a dot punch hole just in the middle here somewhere, so you've got a nice big bit of meat around it, and then just start with that 2.5mm drill right through it, and then you'll also mark where the hole needs to go through the steel plate. Chuck that one in the vise, drill that 6.5mm hole in it, and bolt her up. I just mark where I'm going to drill it, and I'll put a dot on that and then drill it. So we've drilled the 2.5mm hole through it, and now we're going to put a 6.5mm drill through it. So there we have the 6.5mm hole, which is big enough for the bolt to go through, and we've got the mark on the foot where we need to drill the hole. So I just used an 11mm drill just to open that up a wee bit, just so there's somewhere for the head of the nut to sit. And now just put that in the vise, drill that hole through, and bolt it onto the stand. Just deburr all the holes in on the stand as well, and make sure you wear safety glasses too when you're drilling these, please. So now it's just a matter of bolting that on. once you get the foot on there, just wriggle it round till it's in snug position under that foot, and then tighten it up. That's her bolted up, just like that. Now we just put that stand down, a bit of black paint on it, and we're good to go. We squirt with the black paint, and yeah, she's done.